This task is somewhat open to interpretation as to how we structure it, but let's begin by putting together a simple solution. Let's not break it up into any functions and procedures. Let's just keep it all under one roof within one main program. So we begin by inviting the user to answer a question. So let's first of all output the question text just using a standard print statement, and we will say, for instance, is G a hexadecimal digit? Question mark. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is permit the user to type in their answer. To do that, we'll say answer equals, and then we'll use the input function in Python. The input function will always return a string, which means that answer will be of data type string. You can leave that in if you like, the :str, to signal that this is the data type, but to keep it a bit cleaner looking, we'll just leave that out. So the input statement is going to instruct the user with a prompt as to what to do. So we'll tell them to enter yes, or uppercase Y or lowercase y, or no, or capital N or small n on its own. Let's leave a space there. After having prompted the user, they will then be allowed to type in their answer, and that allows us to jump straight into marking it as correct or incorrect. In order to do this, a common mistake that's made is the construction of a Boolean expression when multiple values are allowed. So we're going to approach this by using an if statement that has at least 2 parts, possibly 3 parts. Let's begin by just building the general structure of the if statement. So we're going to say if, and then we're going to say if the user gets the question right, then we're going to print correct. Alternatively, if the user, well, we could say else, and we could say that they've got it wrong. If they haven't got it right, they've got it wrong. Now, the thing is that they could have got it wrong in that they chose the wrong answer, but they could also have made a mistake in that they didn't select from one of the available options. So I think it would be better to put in 3 parts here. First of all, if they get it correct, then they say correct. Otherwise, if they type in like no when it should be yes, or yes when it should be no, then it will print incorrect. But we provide a third option, which is that we indicate to them that the answer provided was not recognized. And that deals with that third eventuality. Next, we consider what is the Boolean expression that we are going to need to put here. It's called a Boolean expression because ultimately a decision will be made, and this grey shaded area will distill down to being just one Boolean value. So let's begin by saying if the answer is equal to yes, actually the answer to this question would actually be no, because G is not a hexadecimal digit. So if the answer is no, or the answer is equal to no written in lowercase, or the answer is equal to n written in uppercase, or the answer is equal to n in lowercase. Those are the 4 possibilities. Now, a common mistake that's made when constructing such an expression is that you may be tempted to write something along the lines of if answer is equal to no, or no, and with the or in between, or n, or n. And that would give a very unusual result, because this will evaluate to a Boolean, but this string standing on its own, well, Python will look at it and go, well, there's nothing wrong there, and it will ultimately evaluate to true for sort of deeper reasons, more mysterious than just that. So the point is that you must repeat the variable name over and over again in this case. Okay, secondly, If the user is going to say the incorrect answer, that means that they will have had to type one of the 4 available options. In the interest of readability, we'll stick to the order given in the original question. And this will also help with maintainability when it comes to adjusting maybe the questions at a later point. Alright, this looks like a complete working solution for the problem at this point. It hasn't been deconstructed into functions and procedures, modularized. So in this case, it's a one-off program. You'll run it once, you'll be asked one question, and then you'll have your question marked and feedback provided on the screen. So let's see it in action. Is G a hexadecimal digit? Well, let's begin by getting it right and typing in the value no. And yeah, we are correct. Let's run it again. If we say run, and we say, for instance, the lowercase n this time, it'll say correct. Okay, running the program again, we can just press the F5 key. On my keyboard it's functioning F5. And then we're going to say yes for the answer this time, and it will mark it incorrect. And running it again, functioning F5. And let's say we said something like true, then it will come back and say that the answer was not recognized. I accidentally hit the 7 there, but that would do no harm anyway. So overall, I'm happy that, having tested the program, that it generally seems to meet the user requirements. It seems to meet the overall task requirements, that we were to ask a question and be told whether we had got it right or not. And I'm happy, therefore, to draw a line under that and say that it is a working solution. It would be a better working solution if it were to be deconstructed and modularized.